SNP and Greens hijack Constitution Committee to force IndyRef debate vote. Now, the Constitution Committee is the Scottish Parliament's Constitution and Culture Committee. And the SNP and Greens have got it working on, quote, the options for a legal mechanism for triggering another separation vote. In other words, back to this mandate carry on again. And so the SNP and Greens, which form the majority in the Parliament at the moment, have decided to use the power of these civil servants, essentially, to write up another big white paper report on quote unquote the legal mechanism for triggering another separation vote. And that will no doubt cost thousands and thousands of pounds. Now, if they asked me, I might charge them 500 quid or something like that, and I'd turn it around in a week easily. But they're not going to ask Alistair McConaughey of a force for good. They're going to go to the civil servants and they're going to be making a big song and dance about it. And it's going to cost thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. Anyway, what I liked to see here was that the Tories came up with their own proposal. And they said, instead of that, let's get the Constitution Committee to look into, quote, the issue of freedom of speech and expression within organizations that receive public funding. That's a really good idea. What that is about, and it was promoted by Stephen Kerr, Tory MSP, is he has got the idea that cultural bodies that thwart freedom of speech must be denied public funds. And he's thinking here of the various quangos in Scotland who receive taxpayers' money, but who make a thing about who they will platform and who they will not platform. And he's saying quite rightly in his ideas here, which appeared in the Telegraph of the 16th of August, he's saying that governments at both Westminster and Holyrood must make this commitment explicit. Funding agreements should contain enforceable obligations to uphold the broadest range of lawful views. Any breach of these obligations should have real consequences, including the withdrawal of public funds. The point is simple. Public money, that's our taxpayers' money, should be used to defend the open exchange of ideas, not to fund those who wish to close it down. Well, amen to that. And of course, he wasn't able to get that through Parliament because he's in the minority. But it did occur to me next year, if we get fringe, or not fringe, but unusual people into the Parliament, people who are not usually there, people from parties that have not hitherto been elected yet, I'm thinking obviously of the Reform MSPs, then they could really go to town on that. And we have been very strong here in Protect Our Country, saying that if we can get people into Parliament next year, we need to be running reports and investigations into all the NGOs in Scotland that receive Scottish taxpayers' money that campaign politically, especially that campaign for open borders. And there's a lot of those groups in receipt of public funds. And they're openly campaigning against groups like A Force for Good. When we had our Enough is Enough rally outside Holyrood last September, we could see the logos of all of these groups that we're funding shouting against us. It's just completely ridiculous. And so these are things that need to change, and in time they will change.